Friendship is often described as something simple. Two people who enjoy each other's company. Two people who support each other. Two people who show up for each other when life becomes difficult. At least, that is the idea. But over time, many people begin to notice something strange about certain friendships. A pattern that slowly reveals itself. Some friends seem to appear only when something in their life goes wrong. When they need advice, when they need reassurance, when they need someone to listen. The phone lights up. A message appears. Can we talk? And of course, you listen. You try to help. You offer your thoughts. You give them your time. You give them your attention. You give them emotional space to explain everything that is happening in their life. But when their situation improves, something interesting happens. The messages slowly become less frequent. The calls stop. The conversations fade. And the friendship becomes quiet again until the next problem appears. Then suddenly, they return. At first, this pattern is easy to ignore. You tell yourself they are just going through a difficult time. You tell yourself they trust you. You tell yourself that being supportive is simply part of being a good friend. But eventually, a quiet question begins to appear in your mind. Am I their friend? Or am I their solution? Many people experience this moment of realization at some point in their relationships. Not only with friends, but sometimes with coworkers, sometimes with family members, sometimes even with romantic partners. The pattern is subtle, and that subtlety is what allows it to continue for so long. Because the relationship does not feel openly harmful. There is no argument, no confrontation, no obvious conflict. Just a quiet imbalance. One person speaks. The other listens. One person releases their emotional stress. The other absorbs it. Over time, roles begin to form. One person becomes the storyteller. The other becomes the audience. One person becomes the person with problems. The other becomes the person who solves them. And once these roles settle into place, the relationship begins to revolve around them without anyone consciously deciding that this should happen. It simply becomes the rhythm of the friendship. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once wrote, "The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe." This idea may sound dramatic at first, but if you think about it carefully, it applies to many modern relationships. The tribe, in Nietzsche's words, represents the expectations of the group, the roles we quietly accept, the behaviors we repeat without questioning. And sometimes, the tribe assigns roles without anyone realizing it. Someone becomes the leader. Someone becomes the quiet one. Someone becomes the entertainer. And someone becomes the emotional support. The one who listens, the one who understands, the one who absorbs everyone else's stress. In the beginning, this role may even feel meaningful. Helping people can feel good. Listening can feel important. Being the person others trust and feel like a sign of connection. But over time, something subtle begins to happen. The relationship stops being mutual and slowly becomes directional. Support moves in one direction. Problems move in one direction. Emotional attention moves in one direction. Meanwhile, the other person's life remains mostly unspoken. Their challenges, their stress, their emotions. They quietly remain in the background, not because they are unimportant, but because the role they have taken in the relationship leaves little space for them to express those things. Before we continue, a quick pause. If this reflection is making you think about your own friendships, there are more conversations like this inside the Relationships and Identity playlist on this channel. Each video explores different patterns in how we connect with others, and how awareness can help us understand them more clearly. And if you enjoy reflections like this, consider subscribing to Daily Reset Lab. Now let's continue. Many people who find themselves in this situation share something in common. They are naturally empathetic. They listen carefully. They try to understand people. They care deeply about maintaining harmony in relationships. These are admirable qualities. But like many strengths, they can also create unintended consequences. Because when someone becomes known as the person who always understands, others begin bringing their emotions to them more often. Not because they are intentionally taking advantage, but because the relationship has already shown them that this is the space where they can release their frustrations. And the more this happens, the stronger the pattern becomes, until eventually the friendship becomes defined by it. You are the person they call when something goes wrong, but rarely the person they call when things are calm. You are the person who listens, but rarely the person who is asked to speak. You are the person who supports, but rarely the person who receives support. This can create a quiet emotional exhaustion, not the kind that appears suddenly, but the kind that builds slowly, conversation after conversation, problem after problem, story after story, until one day you notice something strange. You feel tired after certain interactions, not because you dislike the person, but because the relationship requires constant emotional effort. And when that happens, the most important step is not blame. It is awareness. Awareness of the role you are playing. Awareness of the emotional direction of the relationship. Awareness of whether the connection allows both people to exist equally. Sometimes the first step toward changing this pattern is very small. Instead of immediately stepping into the role of problem solver, try shifting the conversation slightly. You could ask a simple question in response, something like, "That sounds tough. Before we get into it, can I share something I've been going through?" Or you might say, "Actually, I've been dealing with something too." It's not a confrontation. It's not criticism. It is a gentle reminder that the relationship includes two people and that your experiences matter too. This simple act reclaims space for yourself and communicates that the friendship needs to be a two-way street. Healthy friendships are not measured by how much one person gives. They are measured by balance, by mutual presence, by the quiet understanding that support flows both ways. It's about creating a space where both people can be vulnerable, where both can share their struggles and their joys. A true connection thrives on reciprocity, not just on one person's capacity to absorb the other's difficulties. If this reflection made you think about your own friendships, you may find the other videos in the Relationships and Identity playlist helpful as well. Each video explores patterns that shape our relationships and how awareness can change the way we experience them. And if you want more calm reflections like this, subscribe to Daily Reset Lab, because sometimes the most important change in a relationship begins with something simple, noticing the pattern. Thanks for listening.